Good morning. One guess what I'm going to talk to you about today. If you guessed school reopening and COVID, you're absolutely correct. Here's the deal. Parents across the country are getting ready to send their children back to school. Whether that means virtual learning, a combination, like a hybrid where they're going into school a couple days a week and distance learning the rest of the time, or in person, it is happening. In some places, it's already happened. Where I live, it's in a couple weeks. Also, where I live, the schools have made the decision to have children come back to school in person. Let me tell you what I'm seeing in my own practice. High schoolers, middle schoolers, very, very excited. They can't wait to get back and see their classmates. Elementary kiddos, kind of on the fence, like they want to see their friends, but they have lots of worries about wearing masks and having to stay away from people. Parents are really struggling. Parents are struggling, at least in my practice. I have a lot of parents telling me that they're very nervous about their kids going back to school in person. They're not sure how their elementary kiddo is going to be able to keep their mask on for the entire school day. They're not sure how schools are actually going to implement social distancing because a lot of our schools are overcrowded. So parents are worried about that. They're worried about the kids getting sick and coming home and getting them sick, and then they're not able to go to work, and then they can't pay their bills. So there's a high level of anxiety with parents, not so much with kiddos right now. The other concern I've heard over and over and over again from parents is, what do I do when the school shuts down again and my kid is now used to seeing their friends and my kid has potentially been exposed to COVID in the school district? It's a good question. It's a tough question, and I wish I had the answers for you, and I don't. What I do have for you is a couple tips on how you can help your kiddos transition back into school, no matter how they're going, virtual, hybrid, or in person. The biggest thing I would say is absolutely open up communication with your kid. Listen to your child. If your child is nervous about going back to school, or if your child is saying, I don't know if I can keep my mask on, or I'm going to want to give Susie a hug when I get there, listen to their concerns and validate their concerns. That's the biggest thing you can do, and help them to see that you also have concerns, or maybe you're sharing in their excitement of being able to see their friends again. So listen and empathize. It's also very important, number 2, to be very honest with your children in a developmentally appropriate way. Okay, again, I am totally not advocating that you say to your kid, you could get sick and end up in the hospital, or mom and dad could get sick and end up in the hospital. I'm not advocating that. I am advocating that you are very honest and let kids know that this is a really fluid situation. So if they are going back to school in person, let them know there's the possibility that schools might shut down again, just so that they're not caught unawares. And let them know that there's a possibility that maybe some of their classmates are going to be out of school for a few days if they're sick. And I'm not sure how what the plans look like in each school, but let's say somebody comes to school with a fever, it's possible that the whole, let's just say, first grade has to stay home for a day or two. So be very honest about that. Okay. The other thing is, you as an adult, as a parent or a caregiver of a child returning to school, you can absolutely demonstrate for them your own coping skills. So it's okay to say, you know what, I am nervous about this. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for a walk. That helps me when I'm nervous. I'm going to listen to some music. That helps me when I'm nervous. I am going to go talk to my friend who listens really well and helps me when I feel scared. 100% okay to do that. So make sure you, as a parent or caregiver of a student, you're taking good care of yourself. I know I talk about this a lot, but it is so important. Children are really intuitive, whether you have real little kiddos or even your high schoolers. It might seem like they're detached and they don't know what's going on or they don't care. That is not true. Teenagers are very in tune to their parents, whether they're showing you that or not. So make sure you are taking good care of yourself and demonstrating to them some coping skills. And finally, if you as a parent or caregiver are really struggling with this, please, please, please get help. Or if your kiddos are struggling, please get them in to see a professional now. A lot of people are doing teletherapy. It's a little bit weird with kids, but it works just fine and dandy. We've figured out ways to adapt, and that's the name of this game. is adapting to lots of changes. So as teletherapists or as therapists doing teletherapy, we've learned how to adapt to help your children. Also, check with your school, because some schools are setting up virtual sessions with their school counselors to help kids transition back in. So I would encourage you to do those couple things. Listen well, be very honest, demonstrate your own abilities to cope, and then encourage your children, like, hey, Susie, what is something that helps you when you're scared? So do that, and then take really good care of yourself, and finally seek additional supports and help if you need them. So we don't know what's going to happen. We'll know, I think, more in a little while, but right now, at least in our area, the plan is for children to return to school. I know the school districts here have really thought out their safety plans and their procedures, and we will see how it goes. And we're going to have to get, again, very adaptable. It's very fluid. It's a fluid situation. And the great news is we're getting this beautiful opportunity to become resilient and adaptable and very flexible. So let's look at it that way. And with that, I'm going to encourage you to be well, stay safe, take care, and as always, if you have any questions, you can private message me, or you can drop a comment below and like and share this video if you find it helpful. Thanks, guys, and have a great day. I'll see ya.